Today, we're giving your finances a mid-year reset and providing some practical tips on how we can get those goals back on track fast.
We are back in your life and we are talking today about how we are already more than halfway through 2025. You will have set your goals, but have you stuck with them? Have you executed? Well, if you haven't, do not fear, because Michael, do you want a stat?
Go on then.
80% of people break their goals by February, and only 8% of people achieve their New Year's resolutions.
That's interesting, James. Let's pause for a second. You and I shared each other's goals at the start of the year. I messaged you mine, you messaged me yours. Are you on track with your goals? I know one that I'm off track with.
Yeah, yep, I think so. I think we're doing pretty well. The main one's the fitness one, Just like I'm just such a little bitch. I'm just not consistent enough.
Remember, we're going to work to change it. From next Monday, you and I are going to go to the same fitness classes in the morning. So we'll get you back.
I don't have the issue with the classes. It's the diet. It's the consistency.
Don't lean on me for diet, mate. I'm a garbage can. I'm pretty much on track with mine. One that I had was I wanted to start learning Italian, and I haven't started. Like I've got nowhere with it. Yeah.
We're doing well.
The rest of it we're doing all right with. Yeah.
So this is your reminder to go. You do not want to get to the end of the year, blink and go, another year's gone by. I'm not where I want to be. So this is the trigger point to look at things, to change. Mike, today we're talking a lot about how we reset our money, because I'd probably say most money goals, they're probably around, New Year's resolution goals around money, relationships, health. They're probably like a really decent chunk of them, I'd say.
Yeah, look, everyone's goals are roughly similar at New Year's, right? You want to live a healthier life, make a bit more money, be a bit better to your parents and your family and probably your partner. But what we're trying to do here is we want you to pause, take stock and be quite real with yourself and go, right, have I started? Am I on track? Am I off track? Or has something gone completely wrong and I need to reassess altogether?
So what we're going to do is we've got some tips for you to realign, to focus on getting you back on track. So tip number one, Mike, is we can't just focus on where we're going, but where we've been. So tip number one is audit your spending. Review the last 3 months of transactions, which might be terrifying, and see where the money's been going. Lifestyle creep, subscriptions, those small costs, they can add up. Now you might be going to Mike, is there a way? We're in 2025. Surely there is a nice, simple way to be able to do this. There must be a system, some software. Pocketsmith, great plug for them. We did a webinar with them a couple of months ago. Pocketsmith will pull in all your transactions, categorize them, assign them based off the budget. And I describe it, Mike, as great and terrifying, because you can lie to a spreadsheet, but you can't lie to the software.
I actually need to trim some of my subscriptions. At the moment, 3 gyms. I belong to 3 gyms. I got Les Mills, kickboxing, and F45. Per week, that's probably over $150.
Do you know the one that gets me the most?
What?
So
I also tried to delete Uber Eats the other day.
Yeah, so the investment, I've done that many times.
I deleted Uber Eats, but it's still in the Uber app.
Yep,
I want to cut it from the Uber app. Yeah.
I want a reduced version of the Uber app. Yeah. Do you know the one that gets me though? Yeah. So I've got a Green Fingers the bin, rubbish bin.
Yeah.
And
up your driveway, mate.
This is for Remuera, my investment property. Now you might be like, James, you've sold that property. I know. They don't have a phone number on their website.
They're so hard to get
I've got a direct debit. I think I've tried to cancel this thing 3 times over a year, and I just keep giving up.
I tried to change it from my old house in Northcote Point to my new house in Kohimarama. It took ages to do it. But yeah, the subscriptions are a big one. They just creep up on you.
Definitely reviewing the subscriptions is a good idea. Mike, let's move on to tip number 2, which is realign with your goals. If your income or your expenses have changed since January, which life does happen, things do change, how are you adjusting your budget to keep your goals realistic but challenging, because we want to push ourselves, right?
When we're looking at our goals and trying to realign to them, we've got to be quite honest about where we're at with them. Are we actually going to achieve them? Or is it something that we're now, trying to swing for, which actually it doesn't make sense anymore? Do we need to stretch them out? Do we need to adjust the time frame? Because again, if you're trying to hit these goals and they're unrealistic, you're not going to get there, and you're going to feel like a failure. You'll go back into the cycle of just not even having them and not making any progress.
And you want that like momentum, right? To feel like you're winning, opposed to just like, oh, why do I suck? I never get this right.
Yeah.
Okay, tip number 3, tackle high impact wins. So things like renegotiating bills, reviewing your power, your internet, your insurance. Mike, you might also want to have a chat with your mortgage broker and go, what's happening with my mortgage? Interest rates are coming down. Are there things I can look at?
Yeah, and we see some shockers in terms of the way that people have structured their mortgages. It's so easy to do it in a way where you can kind of reduce that cost a little bit without blowing the risk right up. So again, talking to professionals, right? And we're doing a similar thing at the moment, reviewing our insurances, where we probably are paying a bit too much, and it's about time we took it to market to get it reviewed. So we've started that process now. Don't get me wrong. There's a bit of admin. You've got to go and actually do the thing. You got to fill out the forms, answer the questions, get on the phone. But I promise you, little things like that are going to add up over the long run.
Tip number 4 is you do not have a expense problem. You got an income problem. So what is your plan to go and earn more money so you can accelerate that plan, save even more? Mike, how are we going to go earn more money?
Yeah, and it's, you might be thinking, oh, it's really easy to say, just go out and earn more money. We're not saying that at all. What we're saying is have a plan with your career. Talk to your employer about it. Am I on the right track to get where I want to go? Do I know where I want to go with my career? What does the salary look like there? What are the steps I can take to achieve that? Again, it's about having the goal and working backwards. It's not just a financial goal. It's with your career opportunities as well. And to be honest, I love nothing more than when an employee comes to me and says, I want to get here. How do we make this work?
Yeah, for sure. So the next tip we've got is all about structure, because the saying is we do not rise to our goals, but we fall to our processes. And we're going to talk about that after this break. Enter our competition. Mike, do you know what the prize is?
Me?
And me. That's right. You get to work with me and Michael for a year. We will be your financial advisors. But Mike, what's the catch?
You've got to do it on the podcast.
That's right. You got to disclose all, but we will help you achieve your goals if this is what you've been waiting for. Mike, how do people enter?
Click the link below to get in touch. Now, back to the episode.
Okay, so Mike, you have to have the right processes with your money or you will never get where you want to go to. So if you are not where you want to be come July, then we have to go, well, what is the structure we have in place? When we get paid each fortnight, what bank accounts do we set up? What automatic payments have we got aligned? Is this working for me? Because if we have the right system, if we know ourselves well enough that we build the right infrastructure, it's very hard to fail.
Yeah. And we were talking about this the other day, right? The most powerful force in the universe, reversion to the mean. Everyone comes back to their average eventually. And having the right processes in place means that you will shift your average, you'll shift your mean upwards. Right? So, when things get hard, when you're not thinking about it, when you're going out and doing some spending and it's easy to go over your budget, these sorts of things. If you've got a process in place which brings you back to your average and your average is better than it was before, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think they say it takes 20 times for an activity to become a habit.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what systems can you build to make you more likely to stick to that habit?
Yeah.
And if we're going, I'm going to go to the gym at 6 a.m. in the morning, it's things like, well, I need to make sure my clothes are laid out in the morning. I'm meeting someone at the gym and I know they're going to give me a hard time. Doing the exact same thing with your finances. And once you do it enough times, it becomes easier and easier with each action.
And if you want a real life example of this, rewind the podcast about 10 minutes. What James and I were talking about with deleting the Uber app was trying to set up a system or a process where we couldn't default to a bad habit, right? Which is getting Uber Eats. Uber Eats is a bad habit. It's expensive. Most of the time it's a waste and the food shows up cold. So again, what we're saying with deleting that is we want to get rid of that. So when we're tempted, it's a little bit harder to just click on the button and do it.
You know what the shame is? Uber know that.
Yeah, I know.
And that's why they've got it in their main app, because they're like, over here.
Yeah.
Do you want a mild butter chicken and a garlic naan?
No, do you know the other day I Uber Eats 2 boysenberry trumpets to my house. And I was like, damn, man, I should not be doing this.
Were they good?
Oh, yeah, they're great. Yeah.
How was the end of the second one? 2 trumpets is aggressive, eh?
Well, no, it wasn't just for me.
He lives by himself, folks. It was definitely just for him. Let's move on to tip number 5, which is around regular reviews and accountability. So, I mean, we've already been talking about this, that you coming back to having the systems in place. You can't just sit and forget. You've got to have milestones that you're trying to hit, some form of accountability to go, am I staying on track? Because some things will work out, better than we expect. Some things will work out worse. And we have to have those reviews to keep positive, to keep on track.
Yeah. And, think of this as, your check-in to keep yourself accountable. You heard us talk about it at the start of this episode. James and I sent each other our goals for the year to make sure that there is someone who knows what we're aiming for. So if we don't achieve it, we can be held accountable if we're off track, right? So you can take this, listener, as your cue to keep yourself accountable.
And if you have a friend who sent their goals to you at the start of the year, great chance to send them this episode as a reminder, a little passive aggressive, going, are you doing the things you need to do?
For all one of you who had a friend who sent yourself some goals at the start of the year.
Do you not think it's a common thing?
No, I don't think it's a common thing at all. People don't like to be held accountable. They don't want to look like they're failing, right? Humans got a lot of pride, man.
We should have a monthly recurring meeting to review our goals to make sure we're staying on track.
Go on then, let's do it.
Deal. Okay, we'll wrap it up there. Much love to Lighthouse Financial for sponsoring this episode. Please subscribe to the channel, give us a review, give us a like. For that friend that you have to keep them accountable, share them this episode, and we will catch you next time.
Cheers.